welcome back to the Gray Space. I'm Zeke. That is Dre.
Yes, sir.
And we got another good one for you guys this week.
Y'all know what to do. Make sure you subscribe to become part of the tribe. Do us right. Hit that like and comment if you're rocking with the content. Now, we got a special guest in the building.
Yes, we do.
You know how we do.
Yeah.
Legendary shit. Our guest today is not only an Arizona hip-hop legend, but a true hip-hop pioneer. His early days under the moniker Juice and ties to the label Black Wall Street made him a unique part of one of hip-hop's most historical beefs. He would eventually go on to ink deals with Nike and Vitamin Water, all without the help of a major record label. His unique blend of East Coast swag with West Coast delivery have contributed to his ongoing success throughout the years. While much of his story has been written, it's a whole new book he's writing right now. With no further ado, people, we welcome Richie Evans into the Gray Space. What's up, Richie?
Welcome
what's
to
going on, baby?
the Gray Space, man.
Finally,
Hey, I'm glad to finally be here, my guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We know you had to fly down from the mountains.
You know, I mean,
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, let's be real. We are in SoCal, Arizona.
We're in SoCal, Arizona.
So it's different levels to this shit out here. You know what I mean? So
yes,
we had to make sure that we made the necessary adjustments to pull up. But we here though.
Yeah,
you know, what I mean?
and I've heard the legends of the driver. You know what I'm saying? You know, Dave told us Miranda, man, he was like, yo, be prepared. Because he's not pulling up himself. You know what I'm saying?
We just
dry, you know what I mean?
You know what I mean? Through this time of really trying to put in this work, you know what I'm saying, professionally, musically, you know what I mean? Sometimes you just mature to a different level in a different space.
I need to get to that level.
You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying?
And the way that we move and just the way that we structure, it just shows you the type of business that we conduct.
That's a fact.
So every time we pull up, I just want everybody to know we pull up right and we about our shit.
I
That's
respect
what it's
it. Yeah, and nobody want to drive in these Arizona streets right there. Man. It's wild out here. You know what I mean?
Hey, don't get it fucked up though. It comes with a lot of work though.
Hey.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I get it.
Ain't nothing easy about it.
So let's get into it, man.
Yeah.
Obviously, the full story of Richie Evans,
Right.
Along with your past story of Juice, right?
Yeah.
Definitely a deep part of that.
For sure.
Is very well known, especially in Arizona.
Yes, sir.
But even, worldwide. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you've had a lot of growth. You've been a part of a lot over
the
last
years.
15 years or so, right?
I would say about 12 to 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's been a minute, right?
Yeah.
Let's get. I want to go back to the beginning. I love going through origin stories. You know what I'm saying? As you see, I got all the Marvel shit here.
Yeah.
So I love the origin story.
I got
it. Take us back to early days Arizona.
Okay.
And how you really started off getting into hip hop.
For me, hip hop was just a real life love.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I was a young dude, and I had my uncle. He was like a big brother to me. He lived with us.
Okay.
And he used to have NWA, Ice Cube, and I used to always go steal his tapes.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that's where it initially started from for me.
Okay.
But then, you know what I'm saying, my mom and dad went on like a vacation or something like that, and my uncle, he had 2 tickets to go see Ice Cube when he was at the Celebrity Theater back in the Coliseum.
Okay.
Back in the
Respect.
day.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And he couldn't take his girl because he had to babysit me, so he was like, I'm not missing Cube. You know what I mean? I'm not missing Cube. So he was like, you're just gonna come.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we ended up going to the Coliseum, bro. Like, I couldn't even, I had to like stand in a seat. I couldn't even see over everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But, the first opportunity I had to see Cube and really get that experience of that whole hip hop culture, that vibe, that essence, and that energy, I knew what it was from there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And ever since that day, you know what I mean? My mind was just hooked on it. Don't get me wrong, times go through where, of course you're doing the school thing, the basketball thing, the college thing, you know what I'm saying? But then you get to a place where you just got to make a choice for yourself. And for me, it was like, listen, I've been freestyling and, I'm in front of every barbershop battling every artist in the city.
Right.
One thing that I really see the difference between now and then was, for me, you know what I mean? Like I really went out here and gained my respect though. You know what I mean? Like, I was really at every barbershop slinging CDs. I was really like, hey, who's the hottest nigga in the city?
Right.
Just point him out.
Right.
Like, I gotta get my name up there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And at that time, that's just kind of how it was. And, you know, as doing that through my time, I think I just end up gaining a lot of local notoriety at first.
Right, of
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, all the real hip-hop heads, all the real dope boys, all the real, you know, musicians, you know what I'm saying, from backpack to street guys, you know what I'm saying? They was like, yo, this kid is really out here on the west side of Phoenix, moving through the whole city, you know what I'm saying, putting his name out there. Yeah. You know what I mean? Again, I went from another level barbershop to Fade Tight on the south side. I'm going down to Chandler to AG's. You know what I'm saying? I'm pulling up at Trevor Brown. I'm going to Independence. Like, I'm really letting them know, like, listen, I'm one of them. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And before it's all said and done, y'all gonna have to show me that respect. You know what I mean? So as time started going, you know, it finally spilled over to getting some national attention, and I got the attention of course, you know, hip hop legend and pioneer of the game.
Right.
You know what I mean? He got a diss from me, you know what I'm saying? He called my phone and I thought he was playing. You know what I mean? He was like, hey. Now at that time my name is Rugby.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And he was like, it's Rugby there. And I'm like, who this? He's like, this is Game. I hung up on buddy.
Right.
I ain't got time for the games.
We ain't got time for the games.
I ain't got time for the games right now. Like, okay.
Facts.
But he called me right back. And and listen, like, you know, he kind of put that voice, hey, listen, homie, I don't know if you think I'm playing or not, but you either going to jump on this plane or lose the opportunity.
Okay. Yeah, like
and
that.
So I kind of was like, So I battled with it for like the next couple hours. You know what I mean? Next thing you know, man, I jump on a plane ticket, man, and I land in Burbank, California, man, and I see this big-ass Mercedes-Benz pull up, and it was the Game.
Fire.
And, you know what I mean, hopped in with him, and it was on ever since. I think that's where the moniker and the builtness of Juice came from.
Okay.
A lot of people at that time asked me, well, like, why'd you change your name?
Right.
You know, again, this music business is a business.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So when I went to register and trademark my name Rugby, somebody already had it.
Okay.
A kid in Iowa, actually. And it's funny because I had my attorney reach out to him. And I was like, hey, I just signed with the Game. Now, that was my first mistake. I was like, hey, I just signed with the Game. Like, I need you to sign that over.
Right. And
Buddy was like, yeah, I'll sign it over, but you gonna pay me a fee.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. As soon as he heard that.
So at that time, I kind of was like, man, you know, shit, like, well, what you asking for? You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking in the back of my mind, you know what I mean, he probably gonna ask for 1,000 or 2. Nah, Buddy was like, yo, I need a 50 bag. So then I'm stressing. You know what I mean? I'm sitting back. So then I was like, hey, bro, is this something that we really can do? He was like, you can license it. So I'm like, so anything that I sell or anything that I do, you still going to get a percentage?
Cut, right.
And I sat back and really slept on it for a minute. But then I realized to myself, hey, man, you know what I'm saying? A name don't make me, I make the name.
Right.
So at that particular time, man, I went back in my bag and, you know, I was thinking of nicknames or, you know, family names that like people called me. And then I just went ahead and started running with Juice because that was just something that was in my childhood.
And I think especially at that time, you know what I'm saying, it kind of worked too with being with Black Wall Street because it was that one. Even though Game was the Game, didn't nobody call him that. They called him Game.
Chuck.
You know what I'm saying?
They called him Game and they called him Chuck.
Right.
Yeah.
So it worked, and it was the symmetry of that was like, okay, yeah, it makes sense. So here's this guy from Arizona, still West. You know what I'm saying? Southwest. And you got Game and you got Juice. You know what I'm saying? And it fucking worked.
It was like, you know, at that particular time, I don't really even think, even for myself, I understood the magnitude of what was just happening.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, it hit so fast. Right. You know what I'm saying? You know, shout out to my man Willie and shout out to Rod. Like, at that particular time, Arizona was such in a space in the industry that I don't think none of us knew.
I wanted to ask you about that too, bro, because at that time, like, everything that was going on, like I said, you were part of, you know, in a historical beef. You know what I'm saying? Legit, right?
Facts, legit.
But then on the minor level, now on the other side, you got Willie, you got Hot Rod, you got Sin.
Yeah.
Right?
Sin was my man.
Right. Sin was my man. Was the homie, right?
That's my man. He from the West. That's my man. Yeah, right. He was
the neutral one, right?
Yeah.
And then you look at that time. So on a major level, you got Game, you got 50,
Yeah.
But then on the minor level, back in the city,
it was about to be
Willie, Hot Rod, we going that juice.
Going that juice.
Yeah.
So listen, I'm about to tell you some.
Yeah, I want to hear about that time,
because there's something that I've been wanting to say for a long time that I don't think that niggas really get. And what I mean by that is, humbly speaking, like you really speaking some legendary talk. You know, I knew Sin. Sin was from the West Side. You know what I'm saying? We used to hit the gym. We used to box together. Like I knew Sin Q. That was my man.
Right.
I knew of Willie.
Right.
I didn't know Rod at all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think Rod was originally from Sacramento, right? Or something like that.
He's from the West.
But you know, he was out here putting in his time.
Right.
Long story short, though, you know, when all these deals started happening, like I said, I signed with Black Wall Street. Rod signed with G Unit. Willie signed with Luda.
Right, because he wasn't. He was just riding with. He ended up signing with Luda.
Initially, he was Hot Rod's muscle. So out of anybody, me and Willie had the realest beef out of anybody.
Right, exactly.
Because every time we seen each other, it was up.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like flat out. Like I'm talking about, if we was in the same space at any spot, everybody knew, like, hey, if these two people see each other, it's about to go all the way down.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And I respected Willie's position because, like I said, I know at that time his responsibility and job for Rod.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, as we saw it at that particular time, you know what I'm saying? You know, Rod was from the unit, I was from Black Wall, but, you know, I really came from a street-oriented circle.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, my big homies was really in, like I said, I was really out here at another level. Fade Tight, you know what I mean? AZ, Mike Mill, like, these are niggas that, you know what I mean? Like, I looked up to at that particular time. My man Dre, like different people.
Right.
And same for Willie, though, over there on Broadway. You know what I'm saying? Let's not sleep or slack for a minute. Willie was, you know, controlling his origin too.
Exactly.
But it got to the particular point where I think that we all, I don't want to say got caught up in the hype, but we all signed up to represent what we was representing.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, it was Black Wall for me, and I live and died by it.
Right. Same
for Willie. Willie was like, hey, this is DTP on mine. You know, Willie walking around with a big-ass DTP chain. You knew what it was.
Right.
I'm running around with a big-ass Black Wall Street chain. You knew what it was.
Exactly.
Hot Rod running around with a big-ass unit chain.
Exactly.
You knew what it was. So I would say the blessing of that was we all had an opportunity, but I also feel that we was young-minded and not mature enough to understand that we was kind of doing some detrimental damage to the hip-hop culture and our own rising of Phoenix.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, we talk about it now because we older. You know, we do wish that we would have, you know, did more things together. You know what I'm saying? Willie talked to me all the time. Like I talk to Willie like I talk to my cousin.
Okay.
You know what I mean? What's up, family? How you doing? You working out? I see you doing good. Hey, how are you? How the kids? You know, blah, blah, blah. But back then, my nigga, it was anytime I see you, what's up?
Right, and I'm glad you touched on that. You said, you know, it was detrimental because now you look at the city and you look at the unity. You know what I'm saying? And at that time, that was, you know, now it's back on track where the city's up.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I'm saying?
The city's completely up right now.
But at that time, it was up. Like everybody was.
Bro,
everybody was looking for their Arizona artist.
Facts.
It was like
it brought a lot of division, and that was the negative thing about it was we had so much attention on this city that it just came from a negative space. Like I remember to this day we all was at Club Next. Just 50 niggas with me in this section, 50 niggas with Rod. 50 niggas with Willie, but it was so tense where niggas couldn't even enjoy their fruits because they was like, one nigga move is up.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? And you know, now, like I said, I look back, I was just like, man, you know, we missed the opportunity, you know what I'm saying? But, you know what I mean? The good thing about it was at least we, you know, laid a foundation where people could understand what not to do. Exactly. And hopefully, like I said, now, you know what I mean? The professionalism and realness that a lot of these artists going on right now that they can really build and blossom from that.
Dope. So, getting to the Black Wall Street, you know what I'm saying? And then as time goes on, talk to us kind of about, you know, that transition of, because then Black Wall Street pretty much ended. At some point. But talk to us about that whole transition. It was, and then in there you got Nike, you got Vitamin Water,
all that shit.
You got all this shit going on. So talk to us about that time.
The Black Wall Street thing was like one of my biggest blessings. Like I said, you know, to this day, Game is still my big brother. I still respect and love him, you know what I'm saying, tremendously. He gave me the opportunity to really see what this industry was about, good and bad. He gave me a platform to really stand on a national level. He gave me the opportunity to, get up out of Arizona and go to London and go to Japan and really see that there was more to get. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really toot my horn. I'm a humble soul, but my position that I was in at the time, outside of Hot Rod having the record with Mary J, and outside of Willie being the first artist to really put out an album,
right?
You know what I mean? I got the most attention,
right?
David Letterman, magazines, Nike commercials, vitamin water. You know what I mean? I'm on different types of tours. Like, I think because I was from Phoenix and I was connected to a West Coast artist, and coming from Arizona, and I tell people all the time, Arizona is Game's second biggest market. LA is one, and Arizona's second. And half of that is due to the Latino community. They love that guy. So it eventually spilled over to me. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So I got all the the perks and gimmicks and shit that he got. The love was real. But then sometimes you got to understand, man, this is still business. And he was locked into a deal with 50 Cent that caused them to personally to clash.
Right.
And that affected everybody under the roster.
Right.
At that particular time, don't get me wrong, Game was the big head in the building. He was, selling 8 million records, biggest blah, 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 but you're signed to a person who is truthfully bigger than you.
Right.
50 was still bigger than Game at that particular time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Get Rich or Die Trying, I think, was like Diamond at that time, 10 million.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They had the G-Unit brand moving. I mean, he was a hefty figure within himself, but he also was the factor in that building. Like, he was the machine that made everything go.
Yeah.
So even though Game is selling 8 million records, you know what I'm saying, Jimmy Iovine was like, listen, kid, I'm with you.
Right,
but,
I like you.
But he's still the thing in this building.
Exactly.
He's clicking the lights on. He's keeping it moving. Like, you're signed to him. Like, and it hit the fan. It stalled a lot of projects. You know what I mean? I know a lot of us was kind of frustrated because we used to hear this shit like, well, how come, his album didn't come out, and people automatically thought it was something with us personally. Like, well, maybe he ain't creating that music, or maybe he ain't, the albums was done.
I'm glad you touched on that. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Nah, everybody's albums was done. Nigga, my first single was featuring Nas and Akon.
Right.
I was locked and loaded in the chamber.
Right.
I was about to really get loose on you. But again, it's still a business.
Yeah.
And what we figured out was, and I used to ask Game, it took a long time for him to really admit. I think for him was his pride and his ego. He couldn't, how can I say it? He couldn't confront that own situation of knowing like, hey, I got 4 or 5 artists and I can't put them out. Not because they're not deserving, but because my contractual obligation is fucked up through somebody else.
Right.
And it went a long time, and then he eventually was true.
Yeah.
He was like, listen, some of you guys have some other options. Some of you guys don't. If you guys want to hang on and try to see how this happens, but if I put you out, I don't get any of the money. It all goes to 50. You know what I mean? And let's be clear, you know what I'm saying? As an artist, when you sign other artists, that's your investment.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's your long-term, bankability. So of course you are in a conflict at that time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, for me, there was me and there was another artist named Menace.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Menace at that time was getting recruited by Cash Money.
Okay.
Like literally. And that happened in Phoenix, Arizona, mind you. And I was getting recruited by Aftermath.
Okay.
Basically the parent company that Game was signed to.
Exactly.
So at that particular time, man, it put a stress on me. I didn't know what to do. I felt alone. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn, man, I did all this work and I almost got to the mountaintop, and you about to tell me that my album can't come out because some shit that you did?
Right. Right.
I'm shelved not because of me.
Right.
But because of you?
And you were the one that said, hey, I got you.
Like brother, listen, kick your feet up. And Game really, really believed in me. I was his retirement plan. He used to say it on interviews all the time. Hey, listen,
I remember
it's up.
that.
Young boy about to take the baton. Like people ask me all the time. So I had my first Black Wall Street chain was probably about this size, and I remember to this day, he comes in the room one day and he goes, "Give me the chain back." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Give me the chain back." So I thought I did something.
Right.
So I give it back to him, but he throws me this big ass one.
Okay.
And basically, he was like, "Man, that's the crown handed down."
That's fire.
Like, you know what I mean? The only person who had that, you know, was like he had
him.
he had the white and black one, and I had the white and red one. He was like, "This is how much I believe in you." And you know, it was a unfortunate situation because at that particular time, you also got to make a decision professionally and how can I say it, and business wise for yourself.
Right.
You know, I'm like, I love my man dearly, but do I sit here and wait for this, or do I go out here and step on my own?
Exactly.
You know, I feel like if I would have stayed there, I would have been, you know, I wouldn't have been able to get these other looks and opportunities or anything that came to the table. So I rolled the dice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I rolled the dice, and I asked him. I said, "Could I get my release?" There's no love lost. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like, you know, I want to go out and explore these other options. There was a guy named Mike Lynn. He co-owned Aftermath with Dre. Actually, he was the person who signed Game to Aftermath.
Okay.
He signed M. He signed Busta, Eve. You know what I mean? The only person he didn't sign under Aftermath was Fifth.
Okay.
Paul Rosenberg and M were the one who really went out and grabbed
I remember
M.
that, yeah.
But at that time, man, you know, Mike Lynn's track record was so phenomenal, and I was so ecstatic of like, well, shit, I can just go from Blackwall to Aftermath.
Right.
But through that particular time, also, that's when Aftermath quietly was negotiating a deal with Beats. So they was going to sell Aftermath.
Okay.
And then Dre and them was, you know, going to do the Apple thing. Now, mind you, they just at that time was dealing with Kendrick. So I knew about Kendrick's deal before he signed with Aftermath.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it was one of those situations like, hey, we're going to rebuild Aftermath. You know, we're going to sign a kid named Kendrick Lamar, blah, blah, blah. You know, at that particular time, they was heavy on the aspect of like, well, he's, you know, kind of a conscious backpack rapper,
right?
Blah, blah, blah. So they was trying to find artists to fit each individual lane. So they found him. There's a dude named John Connor.
John Connor?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
And he's fire.
Yeah, I fuck with John. John
got
got bars.
Bro.
So that was another thing. They was like, John, he's just a bar heavy dude.
He's just barred
heavy. Up. Like you know what I'm saying? That like
back to back.
No radio, no nothing. He's just bar heavy. Rapping.
Facts.
So at this time they pumping in my ear like, yo, you know, like but we need a I'm not, so let me shed this right. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that they didn't believe that they was all going to be national people, but how they was trying to carve them was in their own individual lane. So they was kind of like, well, we got to find somebody, you know, like me. You know, at that time, man, you know, I'm on the fly nigga shit. You know what I'm saying? Jewelry. I'm still rapping in the streets, but also, you know, like they're like, well, we can kind of market him on a further level.
Right.
You know what I'm
More
saying?
The mainstream.
The mainstream.
For real.
As time started going, you know, we're negotiating back and forth. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't know if I really wanted to do that because I just got out of a situation with Game and I was shocked of how my shit handled. So I was like, well, nigga, if I'm fucked up right here, what makes you think that you may not fuck me up? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I took a little time to balance out.
Okay.
Like I needed to really do some homework and research to understand what my next moves was going to be. I didn't want to just jump back into a deal.
Right.
I did know I wanted control, and what I mean by control is if something were to fail, I can stand and look at myself and be like, okay, I fucked that up.
Right. Gotcha.
But not somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So it took some time, and I got back to Mike Lynn, and he was like, yo, well, what do you want to do? And I said, well, truthfully, man, like, I want to try to build the next Black Wall Street. I want to try to build the next MMG. You know, I feel like I really haven't had my full go and potential as an artist and just as a creative.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was like, you know, you guys kind of put the shackles on me a little bit because I had to keep it light, you know, under him.
Yeah.
But now that I'm standing on my own, nigga, let it shine.
Exactly.
Let's go. What we doing?
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, he was like, you know, that's a lot of responsibility, and you know, one of the major downfalls was never the music, was never the presentation, was never how I moved. It was the lack of infrastructure from the city that I come from. And a lot of artists, you know, again, I don't really
that.
speak on this shit too much, but a lot of artists don't really get it.
Say that.
You know how many labels then came here and been like, hey, you got it, but we got to move you to Compton to break you.
Right.
We got to move you to New York to break you.
And that's always been a conversation.
It's always been a
here.
conversation,
Like,
yeah.
Even people still to this day are like, yeah, you can get your buzz here, but go to LA.
Go to LA. Right. Now, excuse me, I know that's unprofessional.
No, you're good,
shit,
bro.
but
You're good.
I do real
Take
nigga
a shit
shit.
myself. Shit.
I do real nigga shit when it's needed.
Right.
But nah, you know what I mean? It's like that was always the battle. It was always like, listen, man, you know, even Game. You know, Game loved Arizona, but he hated it.
Right.
He loved to come get his show, see his people, get his money, but he never stayed here. Really, he never stayed here. He would
Right.
come, get his shit, and they would send him right back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I used to get frustrated by it because I'm like, I need y'all support.
Yeah. Why do you think that is, though? Even though it started up and it's getting better now.
Yeah, it's getting better for sure.
It's still a
not
fucking struggle.
Yeah.
Why do you think?
Because again, I go to for me, like we just don't have the infrastructure or the culture to support what we do. I get it. You know what I mean? We're from a red state. You know what I mean? It's a lot of old money out here. It's a lot of, you know, birth, situations. You know what I'm saying? We're not a fully, you know, what do you want to call it? We're not a fully urban community area yet, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But, you know, I do, and I am starting to see a lot of people push that needle. People like yourself, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, interviews and shit like this helps create that culture that a lot of these artists like myself and other people need.
Right.
But like I said, at that time, it was one of those situations where like, yo, we need you to move up out of here, bro. Arizona's not going to do it for you.
Was that a tough situation for you?
It's still the tough situation.
Okay.
I'll do you one better. This was maybe 3 months ago. I went to, I ain't going to say no DJ's name, but I went to the Core DJ event at Loyalty Lounge.
Right.
Same situation. It was like, my nigga, you got this solidified. Get the fuck up out of here. And I'm like, you know, and don't get me wrong, it is a gift and a curse.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? I believe in me, and I also believe in kind of what we building and the culture that's kind of going on. You know, we just got to do things a little bit different. You know, i.e. right now, skip a little bit forward. You know, now I'm in position not to fully say like, you know, I'm calling all types of heavy shots, but I'm also now able to help dictate to bring some shit here to help cultivate.
Okay.
You know, instead of me now, everybody, yo, why don't you come to LA to shoot this video? Check it out, partner. Why don't you come out to, you know, the city and let's do it?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Hey, DJ so-and-so, you know, you my man at 50 grand. We're going to have this private listening session. We need you in the whole camp. We got you. Come fuck with us. You know what I mean? Sometimes we got to drag them into our world to feel comfortable and have that love. You know what I mean? And it's starting to get there.
Yeah. And that's why I love, like, you know, recently what Merkham's did. You know what I'm saying? With the I-95 shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the type of shit you got to bring. Like, he was like, what he say? Bars on I-95? No, this is bars on I-10. Like, that's the type of shit you got to bring.
And
because it's a great, like, music out here, and I've said this for fucking years, man. Music out here, there's some good ass music. Across the board. Hip hop, R&B, like
rock,
all kind of shit. You know what I mean? So if people, there's fucking great actors that come out of here. You know what I'm saying? Great ball players.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
man, I said
talent's
it
crazy.
too. Like the talent and the work is here. We just have to create the culture, or like I said, build the culture strong enough for people could believe and want to be a part of it.
Facts.
You know what I mean? And,
Well,
and
let's
that's
talk
the thing.
about T real quick.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
The Evans administration, for people
Yeah.
that don't understand, is that like kind of like what you're pushing?
Definitely.
You know?
Definitely.
To make the culture here in Arizona
For sure.
part of that.
For sure. Like I said, TEA, you know what I'm saying? That's a brand that we are building right now, independent company. You know what I'm saying? We have a situation through Universal in Grooves right now. You know what I'm saying? That's like I said, helping us get to where we got to go. I feel like in order for me to really establish the roots and game plan that I want to do, you know what I mean? It's bigger than me. And you got to find those like-minded and hungry people to do it. It's not going to be easy. Like I want people to understand, like, the shit that we trying to do is greatness, my nigga. I'm not, listen, right now I can shut this shit down. I can call Top, I can call Ross, I can call whoever, like, hey, you know what? Fuck it. Label thing is off the deal. I'm going to just sign you as an artist. I'm going to fly out there tomorrow. I'm on. That can happen right now. That's not enough.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe I like it hard, my nigga. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I just know I'm a nigga who's always achieved everything I put my mind to, and this is one of my greatest visions of execution that we got to do, and I think we're gonna do it. Like I said, right now I got people to where I need them to be paying attention, but now we have to, like I said, for this next rollout in these next singles, man. You know what I mean? They got to be iconic. You know what I mean? I got to make you. You know what I'm saying? Not just a believer, but I got to make you want to be a part of what we trying to push. Like I said, we not trying to push regular situations. We trying to, create the culture. Like you guys are helping create the culture. We have to create the culture that we looking for out here in order to be respected and be appreciated on this, global scale.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And a lot of niggas don't really get it. But, in due time, though, when we bring a platinum plaque to the table and, everybody's willing to congregate and have a good time, people will get it then.
Yeah.
Right.
I want to go kind of back to, you were talking about like handing out CDs and stuff like that, going to shows. And then now we're such in a social space and stuff like that. Do you find it a little bit easier today or actually a little bit harder? I know it's just two totally different things, but
so for me, you know what I mean? Like, everybody has a different way of how they market and how they do what they do. For me, it's a little bit harder because, I was Mr. Pop Out. I would, hey, where we got to go? Who having a summit? Let's gas up the whip. All right, we all got 100. We go get some cheeseburgers, jump on the freeway. We there. Hey, we press up these CDs. Like we really used to do to the grind thing. Now, mind you, at that particular time, we was never really, just because of the origin how we came up, we was never in the camera view like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I mean, it would be cool. Like, you catch us at the club with a little bottle behind the backdrop. I get it, but we was never really like, let's flash like that. Like niggas with the brick phones and flash shit. It's never my thing. You know what I mean?
Fact.
So, but I also know now it's kind of like if you don't show it, you didn't do it, and it trips me the fuck out.
That's a
It's
a great point.
Listen, I'm Mr. Tuck My Jury, not for no other reason, just because I'm a cool fly nigga. But you see it, I got it.
Right.
So you know what I mean? Right. But they like, nah, Rich, you got to bust these niggas in the head quick. Show them that big ass Cuban right quick. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's a different space that we in, and
that's very true.
I'm trying to get there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm trying to get there tastefully though, because sometimes I be seeing a lot of corny shit that these niggas doing. But I get it. Just changes with the time.
Right. Right. Because It's one of those things, having something physical in your hand, and I know I'm old, I like something more physical in my hand because you could be on stage, I could be watching you on stage, right? And you can be like, go check out my new single, my new EP, my new LP, whatever it is. Right. But then, but having something physical in their hand means something because it's so hard to get somebody to go to Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, whatever it is, where Bandcamp, whatever your music is on, and getting the people to go there to go check it out seems to be the hump that is really hard to break.
And for us, I say that all the time. Once we figure that connection, it's over. For us, that's our only connection. Right. Listen, we got the resources, we got the support. You know what I'm saying? I feel that we make the music. You know what I'm saying? I feel the imagery and the look and how we move is all there. As soon as we align that shit with how some of these younger kids are connecting, it's over. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like again, I'm slowly every day, trying to humble myself enough to understand how this works. And I know everybody's situation is different, how they go about doing it. You know what I mean? Like I look at the NBA YoungBoy nigga. My dog, he is crashing every number from YouTube, Spotify, like he is crushing this whole shit. I think they just gave him like a $60 million bag. Yeah. Because of him, like, bro, listen, I asked for 20. You gave the nigga 60? Right. What are we doing here?
Right.
What are we doing here?
But you know what I think? I think to that point though, if you look at where music, I've always said this, man, popular music is weird in the sense where it always goes through fucking cycles. Like even if you look at hip hop early, right? Hip hop was about the jam, was about partying, was Then we get more into the conscious. Right. Then
the gangster rap shit.
There was the gangster rap shit, and then there was the cycle of what's a little bit of party shit. Right. There's a little bit of gangster shit. Right. Then it was the real conscious fucking
shit.
era.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if you look at like the last 15 years, it's kind of going through that again, where it's like you had the real poppy music.
Yeah.
Everybody sounding the same, but now Kendrick drops and everybody's like, oh, that's
gotta
that
switch
shit.
the moniker.
Joey Badass new album was fire.
His album, bro.
2000. Have you listened to it? The new one? 2000?
Vibe through the whole shit.
That shit is crazy,
hey, listen,
bro.
and that's such a, like, I was telling my man, I was like, that's such a nigga speed. Like, music right now is in a great space. So,
yes.
Like I said, not my next single, but my second single features Rick Ross, and it fits that lane.
Okay.
And I was like, we're going to win on that for sure. You know what I mean? But even also right now is like you just said, the Kendrick lane. You know, I got a record coming out soon called Pressure.
Okay.
And it's featuring my man Eastside K-Boy and J-Rock from TDE.
Nice.
It fits that lane.
Fire.
You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those situations, like I say, once we align this and figure that shit out, everything else going to do what it got to do.
Yeah.
But no, definitely I'm with you on that whole physical thing. Like, I'd rather give out physical CDs or fucking thumb drives or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean,
you know,
well, because nobody has CD players anymore, so it would have to be like a
thumb
sort of thumb drive or something.
He talking about he want to give out floppy disks. That's how old he is. I'll fuck around.
Right. Yeah.
But so, you know, I want to go back a little bit.
Yeah.
Obviously, man, the last 3 years, man, have been crazy. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to say during the pandemic because, in a sense, bro, like, we still in that shit. There's still cases, and now you got the fucking monkeypox shit going on. Like, come on now. But talk to us about early that you know, 2020, man, early, what that was for you.
Man.
How tough, because I know it was tough on everybody, and how did you adjust through those times?
Well, the Purge came out of that,
the
didn't
Purge
it?
came out of
Yeah.
that. You know what I'm saying? So talk to us about that time.
You know, at that time, we was really locked and loaded. We was really locked and loaded. Got with Ross. You know what I'm saying? We built a friendship, relationship. He was checking me out, you know what I'm saying, to be a part of MMG at that time. You know, Meek is not there no more. Wale went to Warner Brothers directly, so he was in the process of rebuilding MMG. We end up, like I said, building a communication relationship, business-wise, you know, and he was like, hey, you know, I want you to be around more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know you're from Phoenix, you know. And one thing for me, I looked at it like this. At that time, I felt Ross has done everything in this industry except for one thing. Sign a West Coast artist. Let's be clear. His goal was to sign Nipsey. Remember.
That's a fact.
That was his goal.
That's a fact.
The whole time. You know what I'm saying? And Nip was like, man, I'm going to take this deal with Atlantic myself, with Craig Cowman, and do my all money in thing, and blah, blah, blah. It never happened. So at that particular time, I feel like he was kind of looking in that realm. Like, so like I said, we got a couple calls, went out there to see him, and then, you know, I cut a record. And I gave it to him directly. Like, that nigga was like, dang it, this shit tough.
I can see that, yeah.
He was like, yo, this, you know, God strike me down. He was like, this is something that I would create.
Right.
So, cool. So he was like, hey, I want you to jump on tour with me.
Okay.
So I'm like, cool, man. You know, but again, hey, listen, man, like, I got to bring my team. TEA, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we'll take care of what we got to take care of, but we're trying to build a legacy too. You know what I'm saying? I'm really trying to build an MMG kind of like you. And he was like, hey, I'm with it. So with, where we meet him at? Detroit? First show was Detroit. We fly out to Detroit, you know what I'm saying? We end up getting the big ass Yukon XL with the TVs and shit. 'Cause we had to drive from Detroit to Cleveland to Ohio to Philly to New York. Like, we was on our move.
Okay.
So, man, we on this move, everything looking great. And I remember we get to Vegas. And at that time, man, like, this when the pandemic shit was going on.
Right.
I'm watching the TV, and I walk down in the lobby, everybody's, like, leaving. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here right now? Like, it was just, you know what I mean? Like, you know, casinos is packed, bro. And I'm looking at the TV, and I'm looking at my man. I said, Tone, I think we need to get back to the city, bro. Like, you know, like, motherfuckers was in Target and Walmart ripping shit out. You know what I mean? So I'm like, yo, we, you know what I mean? Man, bro.
For real,
so we jump on the freeway, bro, and we just smash. Get back to the crib, tour ends, everything, and, you know, bro, like, you know, I go back to sit there again, and I'm just like, you know, in my mind, I'm looking like, damn, this is twice. Like, for some other shit. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing that we. But I'm just like, it was about to go up from here. And we was quietly like conserving that for Phoenix. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, man, you know, we gonna do this MMG TEA partnership type thing. Like that was the goal. Mm-hmm. So we go, man, and in this pandemic, and through the whole pandemic, I'll admit, bro, like it made me get more in tune with myself. Mm. You know what I mean? I was able to sit down for a minute. I wasn't moving 100 miles a minute. Mm-hmm. I was able to kind of look at my family, digest everything that's kind of went on in my life musically, and really create a full outline and plan to execute. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I tell people all the time, for me, you know what I mean, I just locked in and got focused during the pandemic. It made me, you know, tighten up and get a little bit more sharper on the pen. Made me really, you know, I start listening to music a little bit different. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like for a lot of people it was a little bit of a blessing.
For sure.
In a curse, yeah. Right? Yeah, because everybody had some time to, like, okay, reflect on whatever we're doing. That's how we took off. Right. I mean, we were like, we had these plans, and we're like, what do we do? Well, you know, and then you just do what you have to do in that particular situation.
Right.
You know?
And again, so, you know, I sat back for a minute, man, and I was just like, all right, what do we do? Like I said, nobody was moving.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody knew what to do at that particular time. So, sat back for a little bit, man, start writing, you know what I mean? I still eventually, after a while, was able to get back into the studio, created the record, The Purge. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Sent it over to Mano, got it from Mano, cool, boom, boom, boom. But what that ultimately did, though, was show not just myself, but our team that, like, yo, like, we are the thing. Mm. Like, we got to stop downplaying our strength, right? Like, let's be clear, fam. Like, you know, like, no, we're really the thing, right? Like, you know, and I say it all the time, even with Ross. You know what I'm saying, my nigga? Like, you know, Ross came to Phoenix. You know what I mean? Hey, gave my nigga some champagne, showed some love. You know what I mean? I was just with him a couple weeks, maybe like 2 weeks ago for my birthday. I went to go see Usher. Seeing Ross, my nigga stopped the whole shit. It's my nigga birthday. Give him some champagne. Introduce. You know what I'm saying?
Fire.
But like, you know, I tell our team, we're creating the culture. We're the thing.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And let's not let nobody trick us off our square that we not, regardless of where we from or what we doing. Like, let's keep pushing this shit. This shit gonna really be what it's supposed to be.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think that through that time and some things that we really put together right now, man, the whole team is locked and loaded with confidence. And like I said, man, we about to drop this new music at the end of the month. And we really gonna push a line out here to make some iconic shit.
Yeah. Can you give us an exact date, or are you not ready yet?
No, so right now we're looking at August 26th.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Right,
nice.
Like, you know, I mean, truthfully, right now I'm starting to go back on my whole, you know what I'm saying, interview run. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Coming out doing interviews with you guys and you know, everybody else. So we starting to put the groundwork together. But we definitely looking at the end of August, so maybe the first week of September. The first single was called Pressure. Okay. Like I said, it features my man Eastside K-Boy and J-Rock from TDE. I think that, you know, music is switched. You know, niggas is barring it out and talking that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
So sometimes you gotta, you know, let it, you know, make a nigga, you know, remind himself like, he's really not nothing to fuck with.
Right. You know, and I wanna stay on that point real quick because, your recent music, you know, over the last couple of years,
mature.
And this is what I said. This is why I go back to what you were saying about, you know, the cycles and how we were talking about that, right? Your recent music and who you choose to do music with,
very much so,
says a lot. Like, your style is a style that is not very prevalent anymore. But if you look at the style, it still fucking works. Like,
facts.
Rick Ross. Like, every time you hear Rick Ross on a track and you hear the beat, you're like, oh, that's Ross is on this,
right? Right. You know the theme.
Exactly. Right. Oh, of course he's on this fucking track. And so I just wanted to say, I love, like, even the Vito song, right? Like, all that shit makes fucking sense. And everybody you're talking about working with, it's like, well, yeah. Shit.
Right. Like, when you think,
you know what I'm saying?
When you think about it, it fits the mold.
I want to commend you for it because that is something that a lot of people will chase something because that's the popular thing.
Nah. Mm-hmm.
You gotta work with what fucking works for you.
Man,
you know
listen, like I told you, we just trying to create our culture.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, listen, I have a relationship with Tech Nine.
Okay.
And he's somebody that we study his business model a lot.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Like he has the business model. I think if any independent company or any label in this industry would love to follow that moniker.
Yeah.
But one thing that I've studied from him, not even from the business aspect, but from the music standpoint, is I've seen. No, keep in mind, through these years, Tech's fan base has only went up. Mm-hmm. When Tech originally started, you got to keep in mind, you got a black man with a white killer face and red hair, and hip hop people were, he's the devil. We're not, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Like, let's be clear here. Mm-hmm. But he knew his lane. He knew his strengths, and he knew, let me get my shit in order and continuously to lay out this blueprint. This shit gonna fall down. Mm-hmm. And look at him. My man is in Forbes every year. Mm-hmm. Right. My dog is the standard of independency.
He is a standard.
You know what I
mean? The platinum standard.
So I, again, shit gets rough on us too, but I beat it into my team's head all the time. Listen, my nigga, they afraid of what they don't know.
Right.
We are creating, and again, I'm humbly appreciative that you even just said that, because a lot of people, in hip hop don't even understand that, like the veto thing. And, I try to align myself with people that's on the up, just like I am.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But that fits into the mode of music that I like, and that is sonically in tune.
For sure.
I'm not really one of, you may catch some odd shit from time to time, like me in a Tech Nine record, or me in a DJ Paul record from 3-6 or some shit, but people would know like that was a strategic play.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But outside of that, man, everything that we do is best believe calculated 4 or 5 times over before we do it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like I said, man, each time we're growing and we're growing and we're growing, and like I said, we're eventually about to tip that bitch over.
Yeah. For
sure. There's something that you've said throughout this whole interview, and I have to speak on it, because I think it's very interesting, and I think it's a very good point, is staying in your lane. You've said it at least a few times, and I think it's very important, because kind of what this conversation has all kind of been about,
right, is
knowing where
you are
at, right? Because a lot of people try to skirt these lanes and take rights and lefts. And listen, we all do, right? Sometimes, right? But we got to get back onto course,
yes, sir,
right? And get back into our lane.
Yes,
and
sir.
I just, I think it's very important that people out there, know that it's good to stay in a lane that and you're comfortable with.
It's funny, because somebody asked me today, so like, hey, so you wouldn't try like no Bay Area shit at all? No, I'm not saying I wouldn't try it if it fits what what I do. But let me tell you something though. If it's popping and I need to do it like that, best believe I'm gonna go find the best nigga in that and sign him, and he gonna go ahead and kill everything moving.
Right.
That's the logic over here of great business and executing at these levels.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like for real, we really not out here for play. We really gonna build this shit up like Monopoly, Playboy, and we gonna knock everything down and checkmate. Oh, what? What you need? What?
Right.
You need some country? Hey, bruh, let's take a month trip to Nashville and go find that next hot thing.
Right.
Let's go run it. You know what I mean?
Legit,
we not. You know what I mean?
Legit,
one thing about our team. I say it again. I'm gonna say it, we all respectfully understand our strengths that we bring to this table.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I say it all the time, man. There's no me without my team. You know what I'm saying? They motivate me day in and day out. Half of the shit that I do, granted, I may be the face of this shit and I may be the battery of this motherfucker, but don't nothing trigger off unless my team is in board.
Yeah.
You know
I think that's very important too.
Very
to have
important.
people that you could trust and
very much so.
Because people have different ideas and different things that they can bring to the table.
Yeah.
Even if you disagree with it,
right,
it might lead you somewhere where you not thought about where it could lead you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. And again, we, outside of being an independent label, we are a full brand.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Of course, we have other business and things like that we got tied to TEA. Soon you're going to see a lot of it. We're not going to speak, too much, because the ink is still drying on some things.
Right.
But, you know what I'm saying? Of course, we got a lot of other, business ventures that, the music is going to thrive and push, to help catapult everything else that, we got going on. People ask me all the time. You just said it, man. They said every time you pull up, you pulling up with a driver. You want a driver too? I got his card outside. Right. You know what I mean? What we doing? It's a business model that's in our stable.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Everything that we do is a business inside a business. You know what I'm saying? Tonight. You know what I mean? Shout out to my man Paul. You know, we just sponsored our first MMA fighter tonight. He's at the Celebrity Theater. You know what I'm saying? He's been training since he was 8 years old. You know what I mean? We just loved his story. You know what I'm saying? That. What he was about. We was like, yo, we got to give him a shot, man. We seen his fucking shorts. He got the big E right there. Listen, we about to get into this UFC space. Nice. Dana White, holla at me. We need some shit out here. You know what I mean? We about to really try to take it to where we got to take it, baby. So we working, bro.
Yeah, and I want to, you know, before we let you get out of here, man, I want to touch upon one more thing, bro. I think kind of the consistent, something that he and I talk about all the time, man, is timing. And, you know, obviously there was conversations last year to get you here.
Yeah.
And then later on, and the one thing that we always speak about is like, nah, okay, it didn't work, but when it's time. It's going to be fucking time.
It's time, and it's time.
And a lot of what you talked about is all fucking timing.
Yeah, like, and let me be clear too. Like, I know sometimes, like, even, you know, Vic setting everything up, doing what he got to do. Like I said, my man is a great, you know, he works hard for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know, he, like, with him, I had to explain timing. I didn't want to go to an interview where I can't present the shit that we got coming out. I don't want to go to an interview and not be able to tell you the shit that I got going. Like, man, you know, I want to be like, hey, yo, we got a date coming. You know what I'm saying? We got this new record dropping this time.
Right.
You know, I wanted to at least be able to give you some of the fruit that we got going on. Yeah. You know what I mean? But like I said, it worked out well, and it's timing. It's timing.
Yeah, it definitely is, man. What else you got going on? What else can we look forward to, man?
Man, so it
sounds like it's a lot.
Yeah. This year going to be a full on movie.
Okay.
And I'm gonna stand on it right now. You know, I want to say, as far as, you know, myself and TEA, like I said, man, we got the highly favored EP dropping first.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Like I said, the first record coming off that is Pressure, featuring my man Eastside K-Boy and J-Rock. Make sure y'all stay in tune with that. Of course, it's no secret, you know what I'm saying, we're going to follow up with the Rick Ross record called Can't Knock the Hustle, which is definitely going to be a hip-hop classic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, we're going to look to sign maybe 2 or 3 artists this year.
Okay.
You know what I mean? There's been a couple, you know, cats that's been on, you know, my radar that I've been really seeing and really put into work and got a sound and got a work ethic and understanding of how this industry shit going. I think only thing we got to do is come through, put some batteries in their back and get them to where they need to go.
Dope.
You know, of course, you know what I'm saying, we got some movie things going on. You know, we're working on something right now. The ink is still trying to dry where we, you know, stepping into this cannabis lane.
Okay.
What else, man? You know what I'm saying? Of course, we got the Spendy Sprinters out here. You know, like I said, everybody talk about I'm car servicing. Hey, man, check out Spendy Sprinters. You can get it how you want to get it, baby. What you want? You want the truck? You want the Benz? It's whatever you want to do. It's there for you.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we're just going to continue just to build our brand, you know, put out great music. We're going to do a bunch of live events.
Okay.
And we're just going to, you know, keep uplifting the city, man, till we get to where we got to go.
Real quick, is a LP in your future?
Yes.
Okay, thank God.
Yes. I can touch on that too. I can touch on that. My first official LP, like I said, will be coming probably January.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We're looking at Cool and Dre from Miami to produce it.
Okay.
Are you doing just them on the whole?
The majority.
Okay.
Majority, but I got a couple others that, you know, like I said, I'm big on just the sound of the full project.
Right. Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like everything just has to blend right. It has to be like a movie, man. Like I'm very, very, you know, skeptical with that. That's something I did learn from Game. You know what I mean? Game makes great bodies of work.
Yeah,
you know
for
what
sure.
I mean? And I know a lot of his off court antics, like, you know, some of the shit that he goes through in life kind of overshadows from that. But, you know, dude is a real musical genius, man, and I'm glad that I was able to at least get an understanding of what it really takes to create some legendary shit.
Yeah.
Nice.
You know?
I can't wait, man. Looking forward to it, man.
Appreciate you,
really
bro.
looking forward to it.
Yeah, man, it's been a block, you know what I'm saying, when all that shit, you know. January
definitely.
hits, you know what I'm saying, and let us know what's going on. And,
yeah.
Man, we got you guys on. I'm going to do a private listening session for the EP.
Okay.
So, you know what I'm saying, I'll make sure that we definitely, you know what I'm saying, get the team to reach out to you guys, get you guys your personal tickets and stuff like that, and, you know, come take a listen to what we got going.
For sure, man.
Can't wait, man.
By the way, man, I just want to say I really appreciate you, man, because even on Instagram, see you moving and shaking, and it's just it's nice to see, just movement happening,
Yes, sir.
especially in this city and what we've kind of already talked about.
Yeah, man.
And I really do appreciate you,
Yes, sir.
And everything that you're doing.
Yes,
your
sir.
team that's behind me here,
Yes, sir.
they're moving and they're shaking
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
They're all doing the thing, and there's the front wheel and the back wheel. We've had a podcast about that. I mean, I just really do appreciate everything that you're doing for the city, for the culture,
Yes, sir.
for everything that's going on.
Yes, sir.
And I really do appreciate you coming on to the
Man,
show.
you already
man.
know
I
what
really
it is,
do
man.
appreciate
Like I said, it was just about that time. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
Yo, all the new listeners out there, like I said, it's your man Richie Evans, the face of AZ. Make sure you follow me. Instagram at Who Is Richie, Twitter at Who Is Richie. Like I said, man, anything we got going, make sure you come out, man. We talk,
That's
Fuck
right.
with me.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
You guys stay safe. You guys stay positive out there.
And as always, this is the Gray Space. Peace.